It's like, all right, bro. Now I got attitude because you got attitude, and I'm happy.
Girl, won't you stay? Cause I wanna roll with plans we made. And I don't want any delays. And I don't know another way. Don't wanna break. Girl, won't you stay? Cause I wanna roll with plans we made.
Hello. We are back. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Preem Pod, a place to laugh, learn, and grow. I'm Jace Preem. We're here with
Nita.
Nita, Artistry by Nita, that is. And today we have another really good episode for you guys. Today we're going to be talking about content creation, priorities, and limiting beliefs in context, of course, with business and entrepreneurship. So we'll be touching on how to go viral on TikTok and Instagram, some content creation strategies, target audience do's and don'ts, what you should be prioritizing as an entrepreneur, some of the things that we prioritize and some of the things that we used to prioritize. And then we'll be touching on limiting beliefs and the ones and some of the limiting beliefs that we might have shed, some that we even still have, and some common limiting beliefs that kind of stop photographers and kind of stop you guys in business and entrepreneurship from getting where you need to go. So again, just like last week, I'll say it again. If you tuned in on accident, if you're here and you don't know how you got here, you might just want to lock in, especially if you would like to be an entrepreneur in the near future. If you're already in the field as an entrepreneur and things just seem a little stagnant right now. But first, before we kind of get into any of that stuff, I know everything there is to know about you, but for our listeners, for our watchers, kind of tell us about who you are and what you do.
Okay. Let's get in there. So my name is Nita. I am the owner of Artistry by Nita. I'm 23. I'm a 23-year-old entrepreneur.
Okay.
Born and raised in Detroit. Trying to think what my favorite color is peace. I know. Favorite
color.
Yeah. Artistry by Nita has been up and running since January 2021. Mm-hmm. And I specifically went with Artistry by Nita instead of like something specific because I like doing everything and I want to be able to do everything. You know, if you I want you to be able to come to me, like, let's say you saw Etsy post or something, and it was for a custom t-shirt or something. And let's say you're hosting an event or anything like that, and you need a bunch of stuff, but you saw this Etsy post. You're like, okay, I'm going to get these custom t-shirts. That's all I need. Next thing you know, you're scrolling down my page and you're like, oh, she does jeans too. Oh, she does shoes. Mm-hmm. Oh, I can get a portrait. Oh, I can get this and da. So I could be a one-stop shop for you, for the most part. So that pretty much sums Artistry by Nita up. So anything from custom Crocs or to like senior jeans to painted letters, the whole 9 yards, all that good stuff.
Yeah, everything. And for you, kind of I know you mentioned you kind of started taking it serious, or I don't think you did. When did you start taking this serious?
Well, I mean, I made the Instagram in like February. Mm-hmm. So at least I was posting
this
on
year?
There. No, of 2021. I was
gonna say no. Wait, okay. Last year. Okay.
Yeah, because like it came about in January. Well, it really came about December because I was preparing for my birthday and I'm like, I want a pair of Crocs. And yeah. I was looking around. I'm like, I can make these. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how it happened. But I think I probably started taking it like super serious, honestly, within the last year. Even though it came about in 2021, within the last year is when I was, trying to, I did the S-Boy performance, not the performance, but the backdrop, all that good stuff. Okay. So I feel like in the last year is when I really was like, no, this is really what I want to do.
Okay, in the last year. And what was kind of like that? I mean, I know obviously when you wanted those Crocs, that kind of made you get in. But what was kind of like the turning point for you? I mean, for one, I want to be able to, like you said, you started this page last year in February. And I mean, for the listeners and for people watching, like how many followers do you have?
2021.
Oh, 2021.
Yes.
Oh, I'm thinking this year is 2023. Is it? It is. It sure is.
Actually, no. I think you're right.
I was say I think it's last
it was
year.
December 2021. Yeah. It was December 2021, but February 2022 is when I made my Instagram.
Gotcha. Because I was gonna say
because I know it was 2021.
That was gonna take my next point wasn't gonna be as cool, but I was gonna say from the moment that you started, you're at now how many followers from last year, February?
1900.
1900, and it was all organic, and it was really cool to watch that because I haven't grown a page that quick. Not from zero. Like I grown pages that had already had some traction, and I leverage whoever I was working with, gain that way. But I never thought I want to definitely kind of talk about that, and that's going to jump into our first content creation.
Think of what Rose would be saying right now. Skadoosh.
Thank you. Please, you need to be Rose when he's not here. Skadoosh. I like that. I'm gonna check with him to see if he would have said that. But yeah, so for you, since then, kind of walk me through 0 followers to 1900 followers, all organic. Like,
well, I mean,
how'd that happen?
So I feel like a lot of people make the mistake of just posting pictures, like that being the primary thing on their feed. But us both working at a marketing company and kind of seeing the ins and outs of that from like the background, it wasn't like we were hands-on, but from the background, I knew that wasn't the way to go. Like primarily was to just be posting pictures. Like, don't get me wrong, yes, you can use the hashtag strategy and end up on the explore page and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, but I knew reels was going to be my number one thing, so that was pretty much what I focused on, using reels, still using the hashtag strategy, so on and so forth. But I put my foot down in the reels to make sure I was getting my products in front of a lot of people, because people don't have to be following you to see your reels. They don't, like, they could just be scrolling down, they may not like it, but they don't have to be following you in order to see your content. So I just made sure that, I was posting reels, and you have to be consistent too. Like, you can't be post a reel on Monday, next thing you know it's Friday and you're posting another reel. It's gonna be like, dude, where you been at? So I just made sure that I was consistent. I came up with a schedule for every day, what type of content to post every day. And then I feel like also people stick with one type of audience, or a way of reaching that audience. And I wanted to make sure that I reached all type of different audiences. Some audience click better with comedic, like memes and funny things. Other audiences want to see real. They want to see that dirty craft room. They want to see that ponytail edge is not done. They want to see that. Other people want to see, hey, you need to be looking up to par when you come across my screen. If I'm going to buy from you, use that edges and, clean that room up. So I did clean my craft room videos,
those went up.
Things like that. So you just have to figure out the different audiences that work better with your niche and make sure that you're reaching all of them in different type of ways.
Yeah, I mean, and just so people know, like, she doesn't just use reels, like she does use a nice combination. I know you had some carousels that would have a funny, those shareable posts that people post to their story. Like those are really good to kind of get incorporate there. But I mean, I've seen you try a lot of different things when it comes to content creation. What's probably your favorite type of content to post, and also your favorite type of content to make?
My favorite type of content to make is honestly like the process, like from opening, like, for example, custom Crocs, that's my number one seller without a doubt. So those are honestly my favorite videos to film, because it's like you're starting from the process of opening that fresh pack of Crocs up, looking at them clean, and then people are like, what are you about to do with this? And then they're seeing the process, and then that process can also help show people why your price is the way it is, because people are so quick to be like, and I still get those comments even with doing those type of reels, $100 for some Crocs, and I'm like, girl, the Crocs are already $50. So I don't know. I don't know why you're tripping like that. Right. But that process shows like, okay, this is a time lapse. This is a 30-second video, but because it's a time lapse, you can see it took me an hour to make this pair of Crocs for you, and you want me to charge you $20 for it.
Sometimes it takes you longer than that,
and I'm not gonna do it. So those are my favorite to film. It shows the process. You see the ins and outs. And it also helps get rid of those people of I can make it, because don't get me wrong, if I can do it, you can do it too. But also people be like, oh no, I am gonna buy it because I'm not doing all of that. And then boom, at the end, it's this beautiful pair of Crocs, and they're like, dang, like, oh, it went from that to that, or so on and so forth. So those are my favorite ones to do, is the actual process, going from a plain pair of Crocs to this doped out pair with glimmer and glam and all type of stuff going on. So yeah, those probably are my favorite, and those also do the best.
Yeah, like man, because though whatever any type of content that shows a process usually goes really well, because it's like it's almost like telling a story, but it's also like it's showing you like from 0 to 100, and starting from the bottom. Now we're here, like they get to see you take something from 0, and that's like credibility, because it's showing, like, for one, it takes confidence to put that out, because it's like you actually have content. You're actually confident that the final product is worth, like, because it sucks if you do that and it's like once they get to the end, it's like I just wasted my time. So like I like, when you do that, it takes a lot of confidence to do it, but it's like it shows them beginning to end. And one thing I did want to touch on, I mean, obviously we're talking more about, TikTok, content creation, target audience, but I did want to touch on what you mentioned about you won't do it. And when you said that, you were talking about lowering your prices, because that's something I see a lot of entrepreneurs, like, because I'm sure some people are like wondering why wouldn't you wonder it, because a lot of people see lowering prices means I'm going to make more money, right? But it actually, I mean, which is weird, because if you're lowering the price, that obviously means
it's a strategy to it, and
exactly.
the strategy can be different for different niches, obviously. Like sales calls, it's like you do that first call for a special thing, and it's like, yeah, you might be losing out on money, but that's making somebody be like, oh dang, I have to buy right now because I don't want to pay $500 more just to buy tomorrow, or anything like that. So it's a strategy to it. So a good strategy, for when you're in like the beginning stages and you're trying to get the clientele, it is, to post that discount. But a good strategy is, let's say, for example, my most expensive pair of Crocs is $165. So I've seen a strategy where, and I've used it before, where it's like, that's my price. You guys still buy from me, but that's my price. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make them think I'm discounting it. So I'm going to say, I'm going to list like, normally these Crocs are $185, but I'm going to do 20% off and get you their Crocs for $165. Right. So it's kind of like a psych out. Like I made them think I'm giving them this grand, beautiful discount, but really it's not the best discount. I'm really still charging the same thing, but that's also good. Another strategy is to lower your price for specific things. Like, for example, I might post, I want to do some Starbucks Crocs, Starbucks theme, because that's something that I specifically want to do. I'll give you a 20% off discount, something like that. So there's a strategy to it, and it can be different, for each niche. But at the same time, most of the time, a person telling you that, dang, all that for this, or wow, that's a lot, or why your price is so high, that just means you can get custom Crocs from me. That means you might be able to go and get custom Crocs from somebody else, but this is a luxury. This is a service, and this is my price. I'm just not in your price range, and there's nothing wrong with that, because there are plenty of things that I've wanted that wasn't in my price range, and I went and got it from somewhere else, or I went without. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just no Crocs from Artistry by Nita. Go to somewhere else, and I feel like that, that's okay.
And it's crazy. I mean, and I love that you said that, because yes, like people like to take it personal and get in their feelings, and it's like, bro, it's like you
it's
see,
not necessary.
Walmart can charge so cheap because of what they do behind the scenes.
Exactly.
I don't have a bunch of Asian kids in my basement who are working on shit for me, so I'm gonna give you this price because I'm doing it myself.
And then people, what's so funny to me is I don't judge people. Whatever you reach out to me, about the price or anything like that, it's like, okay, that's cool. But it's so funny when I go to click to their page and they got on these grabber nails, and I'm like, I know you spent over $100 for those, and when are those nails gonna come off? In a couple of weeks, right? Yeah. But this $100 pair of Crocs is gonna last you for how long?
When did you make these? Because I mean, these look brand new right now.
I definitely made them before April. So
yeah, and this is right now. It's September.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
and they still look
they'll
the
be able to
same.
see. These are, I mean, and I'm also very good. I have Air Forces I got like 2 years ago that look like I got them this year, so I'm very good with shoes.
But I mean,
because
these are the first pair of Crocs I ever made.
Oh wow!
So
look at you bringing some OGs on. Okay, we're gonna definitely put that up on the screen for the users.
So it's like it's like these are gonna last you for God knows how long.
Man.
And I'm like, literally, my nail tech, shout out Ice by Bree, period. And I ain't been to you in a minute, girl, but I'm coming. You can see I'm coming. I promise.
Been grinding. Been putting in work.
This is grind mode right now. But I literally went to her. I hadn't been to her in probably like a year. Like it had been a very long time. Mind you, she was also my first paying customer. The first person that ever paid for a pair of Artistry by Nita Crocs was fucking Ice by Bree. Okay. So I went to her, it had been like a year or so, and she had on the Crocs. She had on the Crocs I made. And she was like, girl, do you see these stones? They are still on there. She's like, I gotta give me another pair. And she was like, people are still complimenting these. And I'm like that? And she's like, yes, people still be wanting them. So I'm like, and it's been over a year, and she wears those Crocs every single day, all day long. So I'm like, she's putting them through trials and tribulations, okay? And they are still there, and they still look presentable. So it's like, and that, like I said, that was my first customer. So that was before I figured out the prepping that you have to do to make sure the stones stay on. That was when I was testing out my first glue ever and things like that. And I'm like, they're still looking good. And now I've perfected my craft. So it's like, if you just spend $200 on your nails and one nail is already broken off, please don't come to me about my price of my Crocs. Please. I don't even want to hear it. You could just keep it to yourself.
Because these, man, and I love these so much because it's like whenever I go, the looks are like, bro, like what you want, like where you get those from, like what you doing? It's like, bro, like my girl made these. What you mean, like Artistry by Nita? Like that's a really good feeling to be able to say that too. By the way, like it's really cool, being able to. I mean, if it, also one thing that you hadn't said is that your relationship with me, like who are you to me? That was one thing you didn't miss in your introduction. I was waiting for that one.
Okay, yikes.
I was waiting to see what you would say. but no, it's really cool to be able to be the entrepreneur, to be able to, because it's just awesome, being able to watch you take those from, because I'm an artist and I'm creative, but I'm not an artist like you. I'm an artist vocally. She's an artist like graphically. So it's cool to see you do that because I can't do that. So it's always cool, it's because I love art. I just love creativity. So it's like the way I didn't even know if you could really make me some designer like Crocs for real. And like I just like, hey.
Yeah, I mean, these were a freestyle. These are available for purchase.
Yeah, and you sold and you did sell like a $400 order after you posted these. Like they were like, I want some.
These are the freestyle. Like he literally asked me to.
Make me some honestly, boy Crocs.
Originally, they weren't even meant for you. Like,
so I was gonna,
but from my perspective, they were meant for you. Like, you were like, "Hey, can you make me a pair of Crocs?" And I'm like, "Like what?" And you're like, "Anything." And I'm like, "But like what? Like what color? Like what do you?" And he's like, "I don't got nothing. Just make a pair of Crocs." And he was gonna send them to this Croc influencer guy. Shout out Doogie-lish. I think that's how you pronounce it. But so shout out to him. But he was gonna send that pair of Crocs over to him. But when he saw him, he was like, "Nah,
I need these, bro. I need these. You went too crazy, bro." So we're still gonna do that. I need to reach back out to him because I just kind of like ghosted him after that because I'm like, and then like car got stolen, life went crazy. But like, I definitely need to do that still because I think he got to sit down with 2 Chainz and all type of stuff. I definitely would love to.
He definitely out here doing.
He dope. He
has over 1,000 pairs of Crocs.
He's the world record holder for Crocs.
Yeah.
So we're gonna send him.
That's why they had him on that show.
We're gonna send him some Artistry by Nita Crocs so he can get a taste of that. But yeah, I wanted to talk more. And I wanted to even get more deeper into that price thing, just because one thing that's been on my mind heavy is I've been seeing a lot of photographers and videographers and they're posting their price. And when you talked about I'm out of your price range, and to kind of get even deeper, I always talk backwards when I introduce topics, but to get deeper into that, like when it comes to your price range, when it comes to what you're charging, you need to charge based on what you want to make on a monthly basis. So we're still going to decide, because you're going to be working with me in pre-media and in a lot of different ways. And when we sit down, I'm going to start with, how much you want to make, and then I'm going to create your task, according to that. Right. And you need to do the same thing if you are a photographer, if you are a videographer, because that's where I was this message was really hitting for y'all. Cause I mean, I work with a lot, and obviously we have the new team members who are videographers, photographers, but you want to make sure you're charging a price that it will attract the people that you want to work with. So I see a lot of videographers advertising right now $100 music videos. I think there's 2 or 3 I see in the city right now advertising that, and that's cool. But the only people, this is just my opinion. This is just how I feel about this. The only people who are going to book $100 music video are someone who doesn't really care too much about quality. Not saying that you have bad quality, but that person, you cannot be expecting good quality. You're not expecting 4K. You're not expecting special effects with a $100 video.
However, I do feel like that is a good strategy to use when you're starting out, when you're trying to build that portfolio, because you do have to have it. You can't be like, oh, I charge $5 a session.
Yeah, from the jump. Exactly.
Okay, for what? You have to be able to show them some type of portfolio. This is why I charge that, honey. Exactly. Book. Yeah, deposit. Thanks. So you have to have some time, and that's the easiest way, to grab people in, because they're like, not everybody is going to be looking at that. Overall, it is, you get what you pay for, but not every single person is going to look at it that way, especially if you're kind of explaining why you're charging so low. Hey, we're offering $100 photo shoots because we just brought on some new photographers. Yes, we need to train them. You can also put in some type of explanation, some type of copy in there to give people who do think like that you get what you pay for. Now they're like, okay, that's why. Okay.
Not because you suck.
So now it makes sense.
Right. And I'm glad you said that, because there is one. So there's 3 that I'm thinking of off the top. I'm not going to name drop anybody, but there's one that I know who's done work for. He has actually big names under his belt. There's a couple other who are, obviously beginners. And the reason why I want to mention that is because when people, when I consult with the business owner, when I'm consulting with the creative, specifically, whenever they're like, I'm looking to scale. So I was thinking about, it's been a slower month this month. I'm thinking about lowering prices. That's when it's like, don't do that. If you're looking to scale, the only thing you can do is higher prices. Not only because you want to make more per shoot, but raising your pricing, people don't understand. Obviously, you raise your price. So first step, perfect your craft. And the way to know if it's perfecting your craft, look at your retention rate.
Give the people a reason to want to book with you, So maybe before, I feel like it is okay if there needs to be a refresh, a rebrand or something like that, and you reevaluate your pricing. But I feel like before you do that, maybe we should focus on what can bring people in. Like that one photography company that you were kind of working with, that had it to where they offered like it was like a free thing that they offered, but you just had to pay for the stuff. Like that was a good way of, instead of lowering our price, let's offer this giveaway or something like that. But even with like photographies and videography, like there's so many basic studios where, there's no like unique props. It's basic props that everyone uses in every 16th birthday photo shoot, in every graduation shoot. It's like, you're probably going to see one of those decorations, but it's like, okay, let's bring something different to the table. Let's come up with a mosaic background. Let's come up with a jean background. Let's mix this up, shake this up, and put something out there unique that makes people be like, yeah, they charge $350 for a shoot, but they have this, so now I want to book.
Exactly. And then it's like, there's so many things that go into it, but like step one, like if you're a videographer, photographer, I don't know why, but I'm targeting you guys right now. If you're a videographer, if you're a photographer, step one, master your craft. And the way to know if your craft has been mastered is to look at your retention rate. So if it's so crazy. I was speaking to some of these high school kids the other month, and there was this kid, I forgot his name, but he asked a question about retention. And I'm going to give you guys kind of the answer I gave him, because he was wondering. He was like, this dude, like 15 years old, he owns a smoothie place. Not a smoothie place, but he's starting a smoothie business. He has 3 jobs. Crazy kid. He's in high school. But he was like, I'm noticing tropical smoothie. I have friends who go to tropical smoothie and they get multiple smoothies. Like they get a smoothie this week and a smoothie that week, a smoothie that week. And with my company, they only buy one. When they first buy one, they never buy one again. And I'm like, okay. It could be a couple of different reasons. One, how often do you see these friends? And like, oh, I'll see them pretty often. I'm like, oh, so that might mean the smoothies that might not taste good.
Yeah.
But okay, how often do you see these friends? I don't see them that often. Okay, well then that could be two things. It could mean that you need to be in front of them more. So if you're not seeing these guys often, you're not in front of them, then you need to be in front of them more. So same thing. So the way to know if you're actually a great photographer is to see how many people book with you again. How many, or if you're a good videographer, how many people book with you a second time, right? So that's one of the ways to know, or just, come talk to me. I'll review your work and I'll tell you, how good, for you, how good are you conceptually and how good are you, to make sales? Because there's a way to grade you on, obviously your art and, go as deep as that, or just grade you on what can sell. Like I know the difference, right? There's some work I know needs a lot of work, but I know that they'll make great money out here because a lot of, especially in the city, people don't really care too much about it's people were more in the city, and I hate to say it, but people were more quantity over quality, to tell you the truth. Especially with, I mean, everything with the poverty rate and just how crazy the rent is right now. So I mean, there's a bunch of reasons for that, but I mean, that's a huge thing, making sure that you charge what you want to make. So if you are charging $100 for videos, then for one, if you're looking to make 5,000 a month, you got to shoot 50 videos in a month to do that. But if you can get to a point where you can charge 500 per video, now you just need to shoot 10 to hit that 5,000 mark. And if you can get to that 1,000 mark, which isn't crazy, a lot of videographers say I can never charge that. But once you get to a point where you perfect your craft, you can charge that, and it's doable. I mean,
because Drake is paying that.
Drake is paying
Baby is
$20K.
Sada Baby
Cole Bennett, I don't know what
They're
Cole Bennett charges.
Thousands of dollars for a music video. So
crazy amounts.
You just gotta get to that point.
Yeah.
You gotta do what you gotta do to get to that point. You can never say that.
Exactly. So like definitely focus on, like, I wanted to make sure I went, because I've been seeing that so often. So I can't wait for this to drop, because I really want, if you are taking things personal, it's hard to grow. So don't take it personal. It's raise your prices. And if you are afraid to raise your prices, that means you have work to do. Because if you don't think you can raise your prices, that means that you don't think you're worth that, right? If you don't think you're worth of, because think about a music video. If you look at it from what it's supposed to do, it's supposed to tell a story. In this video, it's supposed to help this artist push this song. So if you're a videographer, you need to add sales into your repertoire, because okay, how far are you trying to go with this video? Like, if they're reaching out to you, like, well, how much does this video mean to you? If you're a videographer, I'm telling you right now, you don't want to work with artists who don't care about music, who are doing this as a hobby, because that's a person who's paying $100. If you are a videographer and you want to make 5,000 a month plus, you need to be targeting people who take music serious as fuck. And I'll just tell you right now, I make rap, but if you're gonna choose an audience, you can choose rappers, but you obviously have to. That's a deeper discussion of how to do it. It's harder. You can do rappers, it's harder. The people, if you look at genres, and this is just statistic wise, the people who take their artistry the most serious are going to be in the pop genre, the country genre. You see where I'm going with that. You got to choose the right demographic when you're going with, if you're going to make that type of money. And that's not to just say that fair-skinned people are going to pay more, but those genres, usually those people, those are harder genres to just come from, zero to nothing. Like those genres, you have to pay, you have to spend a lot of money, you have to be investing, right? So I wanted to really touch on that, just specifically for them. But kind of to go back to you, I wanted to touch on your virality, I guess we can call it, when it comes to, Instagram. You went viral, or I don't know what people consider viral. I consider viral over 10K. I feel like once you have a K, you're viral. But I don't know what people consider viral, like a million or whatever. But I consider having a K, that post went viral, because that's pretty good reach. So for you, if I look at your page, I guess I want to count based on my criteria how many viral videos do you have. But I know you have some that went into the 100K. So do you know how many off rip for that?
I don't think so.
On Instagram, I thought you had your Elmo one. I think that one had 130, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Those Elmo crowds.
No. Oh no, you're right.
Yeah, I'd be on your page. So
dang,
no, you did 370,000 people watch your. These were a pair of Elmo Grocks.
Yes.
Wow. So walk me through that. So I always like to touch on this, because people are so afraid of the word viral, because they think that means that you just have to. I don't know. They hear viral and it sounds scary. But how long again? So how long did it take you to shoot? How long did it take you to edit this video that went viral?
I can't really give a exact thing, just because shooting the content, depends on how long it takes me to do that pair of crocs.
True.
So if I'm doing a simple bling, I'm going to be done in about an hour and a half. If I'm doing a half full bling, I'm going to be done in about 2 hours, maybe 2.5. If it's a full bling, 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Now obviously I'm not shooting the entire time. I take breaks in between. Different videos are used for different things. It might be, this video might be good for a story. This video might be good for a reel. This video might be good for just a carousel. This video I might use for TikTok, so on and so forth. So it really just, I like to make sure that I change it up and use different, like I might do time lapse, I might do slow-mo, might be do real time, things like that. So I'm not filming the whole time, but it does take as long as it takes for me to finish, that pair of crocs. Right. I'm just not filming the entire time.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So that's going to be, so because this type of content is a process thing, obviously this type of content would take as long as it takes to make it. So that makes sense. Yeah. But so talk to me about editing. So how long does it take you usually to edit one of your reels?
Editing, I've kind of gotten down to my technique that I use for my content. It doesn't really take me long, because it's really easy for me to just kind of chop the video up. Because the sweet spot for reels, in my opinion, the sweet spot for reels is between 10 to 30 seconds. Maybe you can even push it to 45, but that's my sweet spot. Okay. So I like to stay in that range. So I'll be cutting real quick to make sure that, you're getting the whole picture, but in a small amount of time. Cause you watch a video quick, it's also easy for it to be rewatched over and over and over and over again. So now they're pushing it more because so many people are rewatching it so many times. So that's why that's kind of like my little sweet spot there. Like however, though, my process videos are normally between 30 to 45 seconds. Some may even be a minute if it's like, no, that step got to be in there because that's crazy. So it's different for, each video. But I would probably say to edit one video, it might take me like 30 minutes.
Okay, about 30 minutes at the most. Nice. Okay. And I love to ask about that because a lot of people just look at it as so scary. And of course, I know what you use. We both use CapCut. Where I'm looking to use, because I love CapCut and I have the pro version, so I'm really looking to see how it goes with the with music videos and as big as things like that, because I have it on the Mac as well. So we're definitely looking to see what that can do. But I wanted to even touch more on to like back with this strategy as for people who are starting out, just because I'm actually going to be documenting us turning pre-media into a 5-figure a month production company, 6-figure a month production company once we have that team bigger. 6-figure a month will probably be 2025. By 2024, I believe pre-media will be, I know based on the plan and how we have it all written, it's going to be a 5-figure a month production company. It's going to be really easy to do. And we're going to show you guys how we do that. And the step one is our first, I'm going to be completely transparent about this. I'm going to end up making a music video. I'm going to end up making a YouTube video sometime next year after we have that cash collected and we have the, proof that we're making 5 figures. Going to make a video of how we went from 0 to 5 figures. And the first thing we're going to do is, like I said, people do the $100 video shoots. I'm going to actually shoot. First, we're going to shoot me a music video. So I'm going to shoot a music video. Pre-media will shoot Jay Spring's music video, and we're going to run ads on that. It's going to be a dope ass video, and we're going to make sure it's amazing. We're going to run ads on that. And then once we show you guys, we have an audience build who likes what we do, then we're going to shoot one free music video. I'm thinking about 2, but we're going to shoot one free music video. We'll either raffle it off for our listeners here or do it on Instagram, but we'll raffle it off some way that's fair and, someone gets a good chance. And then after that, we'll run ads on that awesome video, and then we'll start charging. And we won't need to start with 100 because we've already shown you guys what we can do. The camera that we're using from off rip costs over $3,000. The lenses by itself that we're going to end up having a few other lenses, are going to be another $3,000. So it's going to be $6,000 that we're shooting with for you. And then we have a team that will be using. We'll have a videographer that will be shooting your video, and we'll have a photographer on set as well, depending on what package you choose, of course. But we're going to show you guys how to take a business from 0 to 5 figures and doing it a way that, not having to take years to do it. It's just about how quick you want to work, right? But moving on and so perfect. So I mean, it's just, you see how good we're getting at this, but such a seamless transition into priorities. And as an entrepreneur, the things you're going to be need to prioritizing if you're looking to scale, if you're looking to get to 5K a month and all that type of stuff. And I wanted to talk about, because we're in like a scaling phase of both of our businesses, so I wanted to talk about some of our priorities right now, some of our past priorities, and kind of talk about how they're shifting, and even some more priorities that we might feel like we need to shift to get to where we want to go. So I'll start with you, like kind of just looking back the last couple of years, kind of talk to me about what you feel like top 5 priorities were before you created this Artistry by Nita page. And then today, give me your top 5 priorities now.
So you said my 5 priorities before Artistry by Nita?
Yeah, so last year, January. So January in 2022, or let's say because you said you started the business, the idea was like, December of 2021. Let's say November 2021. What do you feel like? Obviously, that's a while ago. But what do you feel like where you're like, let's go top 3. Let's go to your top 3 priorities in life, period. November 2021. And if you have more, great, but I just don't want to make you have to search if you don't have them. And then bring me to right now. What do you feel like your top priorities now?
Yeah. So I feel like November 2021, my priorities were, I feel like a lot of what I felt like should be making me happy and not what was actually made me happy, not what I was actually passionate about. Number 1 was definitely our relationship. I feel like
you got proposed to November 2021.
Yeah, that was definitely my priority was getting us down the aisle. I'm like, we gotta get there, because we were going on wedding tastings and awesome. Doing tours and everything like that. Which is something we definitely need to get back into doing now.
For sure.
But our relationship was priority, family was a priority. Like getting my brother, to come visit and things like that, because he visited that year. Yeah, he visited.
Yeah, I believe so. I remember we saw him. That was the year I got you Bucky. So yeah, he was there.
Yes. So my family was definitely a priority. And like how I looked was my priority. I gotta get my nails done, my hair done, my lashes done, because I gotta look a certain way. And although those things made me happy, I'm not trying to say that they don't, but it's not like, oh, I'm super duper passionate about getting my nails done, because I've been happy. Ugly. I've been going through days and my nails aren't done right now. And again, that is important to me. Hint, hint. But it wasn't like it. I felt like it was what should. I'm looking at these influencers, and this is how they look, and things like that. And I just felt like this is what should make me happy. I go get my nails, hair done, all that, and I go get Starbucks. And I'm a girl.
You're just a girl. You're just a girl, bro. That's all you can do.
And it was just like, that was a focus. And I really feel like friends were also a priority as well. Building
the show or your friends. We just went to the Friends experience, so yeah.
No, definitely passionate about Friends. Yeah. Definitely my favorite show. But yeah, my friends, I felt like I needed to have friends, and I felt like I needed to have different friends than what I had. But I was so like, it's hard to let people go and things like that. So although it was hard for me to let certain people go, that they were still my priority. I'm like, these are people that have been in my life for this amount of time, and they've been here for me through this, and they should be a priority and all of this. And even when things were hurting my feelings, like literally, like I'm hurt right now because of a decision that you made or something that you said or how you're acting right now. But I still had you as a priority, in my life. And I just felt like it was something that I should be doing. I should be focusing on this friendship with this person. But it was like, no, like, that person is not, that's not where your priority should be. That's not what actually is making you happy. And I wasn't, because those relationships were hurtful to me. And since I realized that it's not what actually was making me happy, I made that decision to let them go. So moving over until now.
So wait, so we have 4 there. So we had family. So I'm not in no order. We had family, we had our relationship. So let's say we had family, we had your relationship, and we had friends, and then what was the other one? I know you said 4 because I put my fingers up.
How I looked,
like how you looked, right,
all that stuff.
So that was the 4. So family, so before the business, family, relationships, how you looked, and friends. Right. So let's go. Today is Thursday, September 28th, 2023. What are, let's say, so we gave 4, so let's give another 4. What are your 4 top priorities right now? No order.
Yeah. So now it's definitely our relationship is still there.
Yeah.
That's not going anywhere. Family are still there. It's still there. That's something very important to me.
Okay.
Well, I kind of want to go talk a little bit. So one is definitely our relationship.
Right.
We've both been being consistent with church, making sure we go every single Sunday. We've joined a church group, which is what we're actually going to be doing when we leave here. Yeah. Well, not directly after, but later on today. We've developed like Sunday meetings where we discuss the week before. We missed a couple of meetings, so this next meeting is gonna be like the last couple weeks before. We've been focusing on that. We've been focused on communication, something we struggle with just all type of things. Like a quick example was we were at the gym. We've also started going to the gym as well. But at the gym, not to put him out there, but I'm not a morning person. So actually I'm exposing me. I'm not a morning person at all. Please don't talk to me. Please don't look at me. And don't be so joy. Why are you smiling
bro,
so much?
That's me, bro. Cause it's
like, I don't be understanding. It is 7:00 in the morning. The sun is still down and you're shining like a bright light. And it's like, it's too bright in here. Like, please, like, what are you doing? So I'm not that type of person. If it's 12 p.m., you got me. I'm happy. We're good. Let's go up for the day. But earlier than that, no. So he's been trying to get me to get up and get to the gym and go to the gym with him. And I've been saying so many times, like, why so early? Like, why can't we just go, 1 p.m., something like that? But today I was like, no, we're being serious about our relationship. We're being serious about God. I need to get my butt up. Even though it's 7:30 in the morning, I need to get up and go to the gym. But I'm not in the best mood. Like, come on now. Like, I got up, I got dressed, I brushed my teeth, like, dang, like, come on, be a little cool. And I guess, how are you feeling? Like, say that.
So I'll kind of, to give even more context. So like, I'm a simp, and like, I love, like, so there.
I hate that word.
So I mean,
he loves his
just
girl.
to set the
Simple.
scene. Just to set the scene. That's just the easiest way to tell people the type of guy I am. Like, I'm the type, because I feel like there's simps, and then there's guys who aren't simps, and there's guys who just don't like women and don't know it yet, type shit. But like, because there's some guys who aren't simps but still are good to their women, but they're just aren't affectionate. Because I think simps also love affection, like guys who like affection. Because there's some guys who actually, like, even with Rose was saying he is not affectionate at all. He has to set alarms to be affectionate, type shit. So and I'm the type of person who loves affection, and I love just happiness, type shit. And I am also a morning person. So, when I wake up, I'm happy. And there are circumstances in my life that have made me like that. Obviously, I wasn't always like this. Before I started working at Panera, I wasn't like this. But I started working at Panera when I was like 18, 17. I had to get there at like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. So it was like, be a morning person or stop working at Panera. Because it's like people who come and get coffee at 5:30 a.m. are morning people. So I've probably had your attitude for like 3 weeks, and it's like, it's contagious. It's like, hello, because they come in here, hello, and it's early as shit. So I'm just like, I mean, you look happy, and it's like, fuck it. But
my parents had to play the Dream Girl soundtrack to get me out the bed.
I love
like
that
I had they
too,
I used to be waking up singing like, and I am
bro. And you said the spider thing that got me, because I don't fuck with spiders. My daddy
tickled me and be like, "It's a spider on you! It's a spider on you!"
I couldn't do it, bro.
He like, nah, even angrier than what I was. But anyway. So but yeah. You're so a simp.
I'm a simp, and like and it's the morning time, and it's like that's why I've been growing so much, and we're gonna talk about next week about what it takes to be a man. But I've been growing so much, and it was like I wasn't giving you enough grace. You got up out of bed, you did something that is really hard for you to do, and I'm just like, I want more. She's out of bed, but she's mad. I'm like, I'm in. I don't get mad first when you're mad. I always try twice at least. So I came behind you. You was at the mirror in the bathroom. I'm like, hey, babe, it's good morning. You're just like, Like just like fuck. And I was like, oh my God, okay. And then I'm like, all right, I'm like, you hungry? Like, no, dude, it's fun. It's like, all right, bro. Now I got attitude because you got attitude and I'm happy. So I'm like, we get in the car. And it's also I'm an empath. So it's like, even if I'm not trying to do it on purpose, I think this time it was like half purpose, half empath type shit. But it was just like, bro, like I can't help it. Like I just whatever you're feeling, I'm gonna feel. So it was like, I'm annoyed now. And I made a comment because we were driving and it was just like blah blah blah. And it was like,
yeah, I think I was like, man, I'm tired.
and I feel like you were like,
sleepy.
and I feel like that was you trying to like, I haven't been talking to him. Let me just let him know why I haven't.
That's exactly
and
what
I
it was.
didn't
I was like, let me communicate that I'm not upset right now. I am sleepy. I'm tired.
Bro, and I didn't catch that because what I said was, yeah, I know, and I'm never doing this ever again. You can stay at like I didn't go that far, but it was like,
no, you definitely were.
I
like,
said
I'm
that,
never
but
doing this again.
I didn't do it like with an attitude like I have right now. But it was just like, yeah, I mean, no, I understand. I'm sorry, and I'll never bring you this early again. Fuck it, type shit.
Yeah.
And then she just was like, oh, well, damn, I okay, damn, I'm just day one.
I'm just a girl.
I'm just a girl's day one. So she communicated because usually I think back in the day you would have just for weeks it would have been a thing.
I would have had an attitude the whole day, and you'd have been like, "What's wrong?" Every
time we go to the gym, you'll be thinking about that.
Every what's wrong would have had me more irritated and more irritated. And
yeah, this nigga tripping. And I'm like, oh, and then we got to talk about it. We had breakfast, we had brunch.
I stopped. I was like, immediately, I was like, I don't like what you said. That hurt my feelings. That made me feel like you don't want to go to the gym with me again. And I'm like, what? When you try something for the first time and it's something you're not used to, this is what happens. You have to get used to it. You have to, mentally get accustomed. And he was like, you're right. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
gave you a validation.
I was like, yay.
You're like, yeah, I'm a girl. I got it. Boom.
Yeah. So okay. So yeah, before we get down even more of a rabbit hole, but yeah, so things like that. So that we've been working on for our relationship. So relationship one of my top priorities. God being in and I mean like all day, like 24 hours. God is watching me. Yeah. He knows what I'm doing. And I have been trying to I'm still a human. I'm still a sinful being. I still will make mistakes, but I just try to make less mistakes than I do every day. Like even down to like white lies, when someone's like, do I look fat in this? So oh wow. In my opinion, it's not what I would go with for you. But if you like it and that's what you want to wear, go for it. I'm like, I don't want to lie to people. I don't want to just constantly telling white lies because white lies make you feel like even bigger lies are okay.
And you have to tell more lies after you tell a white lie. It's a
snowball effect there. Like for like today, like I was getting ready to just pick up these $2 from the house that I'm like, these aren't in a spot that I might put them. So I'm like, I don't want to just take these $2, put them in my pocket, and then I'm like, I don't got to say nothing. So I'm like, nope. Hey, babe, I just took these $2 off the thing. I don't know who these belong to, but I'm going to take them. Yeah. And so I've just been, even like my friends, like my girls, like we're so quick to just worry about giving you your what is it? Not your reassurance, but validation. And I give validation. I do sometimes, put the real in there, but now I've been, instead of prioritizing validation with my friends, I prioritize the real, and then I make sure I slide the validation in there. Like today I was talking to my friend. I'm like, who knows what's going on? Like, who knows what the deal is? Whether that's what you think, whether it's that or it's this, this is the steps that we need to take, instead of just being like, yeah, girl, so different things like that just made me feel like I'm being more godly, and not so negative and toxic and things like that. Priority. Next one is definitely my business. And not specifically Artistry by Nita just on its own, but my other investments that I want to make, and other businesses that I want to have that necessarily won't fall under the umbrella of Artistry by Nita. Those are some of my priorities. I mean, thinking about whether I should be in college, whether or not I think I should be taking some type of class, or working this type of job, to gain some understanding before I go and do these things. So that's a priority of mine. And I did I say family?
So far,
I said,
so far in 2023 now, you have
yeah,
relationships, you have a God, and we have
my businesses.
businesses.
And family and friends. I'm gonna consider that like one category.
Yeah, true. Personal relationships outside of us.
Yes, personal relationships outside of us, because I still feel like those things are important, and I reevaluated the friends I had in my life, you know, from people that just were not pouring into me. And I'm like, I don't feel like at all times your friends need to be pouring into you in order to remain your friend, but it's just you're not doing anything for me at all, like zero, like nothing,
or you're only bringing me down.
Yeah, you know, you're making me feel worse about myself or anything like that, and I'm like, you're no longer you should no longer be a priority in my life. So I did reevaluate my friend group, and the friends that I have now, shout out Ryan, also her business social aesthetics, shout out Maya, shout out Shani, shout out Jada. Those are my girls who have really helped shape me into the woman that I am today. And I'm also seeing the work that y'all doing. We aren't talking so much because we're all in like this building phase right now. But I see what y'all doing, and y'all look beautiful while y'all doing it. So I love y'all, and I'm grateful for y'all. But though family and friends is still very important to me. We both decided to set a specific day where we go and see our family, and show that, you know, we love them, because you don't know how much time you have. You know, how much time you have or how much time other people got. You know, you just don't know. So those things are still very important to me. So I think those are my top 4 priorities right now.
And it's good that, so like, and a lot of people are going to have a lot of difference, you know, and because you didn't need to make that many shifts, because you started off on a really good foot. Because I always say personal, like, relationships. Because when I was watching a lot of these documentaries, you know, I was talking to my mom a lot about this stuff. And when you talk to someone on their deathbed, they almost never say, unless you were just a bum, like, unless you were a complete bum, no one ever is going to say that they wish they worked harder. Like, you know, if someone got really well off, let's say you only made it to 6 figures, you never made $1 million, that person's still not going to say, I wish I worked harder. They're going to say, I wish I spent more time with family. Yeah. Because probably
that's what most people say. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you're specifically, if you're only making 6 figures, you're probably in that weird spot where you're probably still in your business a lot. Because once you're making 7 figures, you probably have automations, and you probably are doing better. But six figures is a spot where you're probably doing a lot to make that. And I feel like most people who are millionaires don't do as much, because to make $1 million, you have to think big, and you can't really be doing
big, bitch.
You cannot be working day to day in your business if you want to make $1 million, because you have to work to make money. Once your ideas just make you money, once you can flip a switch and you can join a meeting and then you can send up, that's when you're going to make, you know, $1 million, you know, type shit. So, you know, and I went kind of deep there, but most people who are, you know, let's just say you just made 6 figures, you did pretty well for your life. That person isn't wishing they were able to make $1 million. They're wishing they had more time with the family. So when it comes to your business, I mean, the biggest things, because to talk about mine, I mean, you know, yours were, you don't, all you had to do was add Artistry by Nita, and you took out how you looked. That wasn't as important, which how you look shouldn't just get removed. You added God, and you added. So what did you take out? How you looked, and
I didn't take anything out.
Because you have 4 before, and now you still got 4. Or unless I did the math wrong.
It's just I combined family and friends.
That's what you did. Boom, that's what you did. Gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, and you started good, because I think you should.
And I reevaluated each priority.
Right.
My priority isn't just our relationship. We got to get married, you know, right? Because that's what we should be doing and all of this, but it's like, it's a lot more than just, I want us to get married. I want us to get married, but I want, there's a but there, you know, with family and friends, there's a but there, you know, I want friends, but these aren't the ones that I should have.
Tripping, man.
Yeah. So I reevaluated my priorities to look at them a different way than what I was. And like I posted on my Instagram, I'm shifting from what should make me happy to what actually makes me happy. So all of those things I should be walking down the aisle. I should be having this big wedding and all of this, and I should have all these friends, and I should be looking this way. And it's like, nope, it's what actually makes me happy. What actually makes me happy is when we are laying in bed and we are good.
Yeah, nobody's mad, everything's fine. So, like that. And so I'll kind of wrap up. You know, I don't want to go too long, so we'll actually bring back limiting beliefs we're going to feature you again. Probably we're going to do a part 2.
Let's talk about it.
Well, you know, we have it until 4, so like.
Oh, I didn't realize it. I'm like, let's touch on it. Let's touch on.
We'll touch on it we were touching on it very, very briefly, but just to give my quick priorities from now. So I'll start before I got into entrepreneurship, I guess, when it comes to photography. Because photography is my first business. And before at that point, so in high school, my priorities were definitely not only just how I looked, what I had, what others thought of me. So these are all their own separate categories because that's how much I thought about them. And then women, girls, like just, where they at? I gotta be there. What they doing? Do they like me? That's its own category. So that's not what people think of me. That's its own category. That's how much I thought about it. And then it was, at the time, I think like track, right? And like I was at that point, the day after these priorities were set in stone, I'm saying that's when I started photography. So like what I wore, like in high school, like man, I think I went through a lot of different phases. But
talk about that.
But I got to a phase where I was,
yeah.
I had drip, but freshman year I came in with the Galaxy pants. I came in with the, and it's crazy when I was wearing those Galaxy pants, like, I was happy. I'm more insecure now. I feel like that I was there because I was like, these bitches hard. Like I got these on Amazon, $35. These bitches hard. And people was looking like, damn. I never wore the emoji pants. I never wore the emoji pants. I wore Galaxy pants. I copped the emoji pants, but in my closet, I was like, no, this not gonna go. I don't know why the Galaxy pants, I just knew they would go, but the emoji pants, I'm like, I wore them. I didn't wear them to school. I wore them somewhere.
I've seen a picture of you in emoji pants.
No.
When we were going through your Google photos, because you were showing me pictures of you and that boy in the basement.
Whoa, okay. Give me some context. Give me some. What the fuck? Give me some context.
Wait, no, bro.
Who is this?
That your best friend. You're like in the basement, like playing like basketball or something. Like y'all were making trillers or videos or something, and it was funny. They were funny.
Oh, I think you're talking about Cameron. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah.
But I'm like, we were going through your Google Photos, and I was like, yikes.
Yeah, maybe. I know I didn't wear the emoji pants to Rennie because I just knew that would get my ass beat. I didn't want to wear those, but I wore the Galaxy pants and it worked out. I saw like
a picture of you up on that track thing.
And I was like this. Yeah. I had the Galaxy bucket hat off the Galaxy pants. I had a white and blue shirt, and I had some sport blue sixes on. Like it was a fit, bro. I'm gonna put it on the screen for these niggas because it was a fit. I ain't gonna lie, that was a fit. And I got compliments. I got people who said, "What the fuck are you doing?" I said, "Wearing a sweet ass fit. What the fuck are you doing?" But then I got people who were like, "Bro, that's hard."
Let's get off the Galaxy pants. Anyways.
But yeah, at that time, bro, it was just about what I had. And I also judged people based on what they had. So when I saw people with bad shoes, I'm like, I also dated based on shoes. Like my first crush was based on, she had like sweet J's or something. I'm like, wow, she knows something,
And I know exactly who you're talking about. And the shoe, and bro, the fits is still hard. Fits is still hard to this day. I'm not even gonna lie.
She always had the fit. She always had the shoes. But I was like, oh, like she sucks because she brought in, she just tried them. I learned that character isn't based on your shoes. Okay. Like I was just like, I'm not even gonna be friends with you, bro. This nigga wearing flights. I can't even talk to you, bro. I can't even be seen near you.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, that shit doesn't matter at all. Like it matters based on you. Everybody doesn't prioritize that. And I thought that people who didn't wear nice shoes didn't care about themselves. But I'm like, no, they just care about other shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Or you who for the most part buys your stuff while you're in high school, bro?
Your parents.
And who are you? Well, it's not your fault if your parents aren't, like my parents got to where they are and they were satisfied. They were fine. They didn't need to push for more. They didn't need more. And I don't judge them for that like I used to when I was younger, because you get to where you want to be in life. And if that's where you want to be, that's where you want to be. But I'm like, we're judging each other based off what our parents are getting for us. Bro. And it's like, I don't have anything to do with my parents. In fact, I didn't want these. I asked for the other pair. They said we couldn't get it. Man. So it's like, you really can't judge people on that. But anyways, so it was girls, what people thought of you.
What you had. What I had, shit. Definitely not school. School was never a priority while I was in high school. After I got my first seat, and it was just like, oh, it's too hard. I'm fuck it type shit. But those were the majority. I want to kind of get into that because I want to get into a little bit of limiting beliefs. But like, I just want to focus on what I focus on today. And this is cool. I haven't even took inventory of this in a while, so this is like live me just thinking. So I know relationship is one. All the businesses I'm, doing, just all the businesses, Preem Consulting, You First Solutions, Preem Media, this podcast, those are just all going to one. Everything.
Run down the list.
Everything. And then we got, so what's after that? So I got relationship, I got businesses, I got personal development. By the time the year is over, I will have spent at least $17,000 on personal development. because that's what I'm trying to do, and mentorship and things like that. Because I'm just trying to get better than I was yesterday. That's the thing for the podcast. And I want to document me getting better than I was yesterday. I want to document me on the podcast, just, today saying, I feel this way about this thing. And then 2 years later, you get to hear, oh, wow, you got to see Jordan grow.
Dang,
or
that is
Jace
one
grow.
of my goals, though. Personal development.
Personal development, yeah.
Because I actually left a voicemail on Renee to schedule my first therapy appointment back. I've had therapy before, but it's time for me to go back.
Left when she got to talking crazy. She's telling you to do stuff. You like, I don't know, girl.
Yeah, I was like, I
don't know about that, girl.
Because my relationship has always been my priority. Man. So I'm like, girl, if you telling me to do something else, I was like, girl, and I ain't listening to that.
And that's one thing to say, and I'll jump to limiting beliefs now, but there's one thing to say really quick, because we'll obviously, like, next year probably we'll be launching our relationship coaching. And just one thing to just say when it comes to therapy, therapists are trained to help you walk the life that you want to live as long as it's safe for you. So obviously, if you're in an abusive relationship, they're going to tell you to get out of it no matter what. But, if you are telling your therapist that your relationship is making you sad, regardless if they think you should stay on or not, they're going to tell you to leave. But if you're telling them that it's going well, and I
feel like that at the time,
it wasn't going.
We were
well.
Toxic.
I lost my grandpa and I became a fucking.
I was selfish. I definitely was taking a lot of things personal. Like he waking up, he all mad, he being all mad the whole day.
I wasn't that was when I wasn't a morning person anymore.
I'm like, what? Like he got a problem with me, and I just cleaned the dishes, and I just did this and folded the drawers and all of this, and I'm like, I'm getting the big head, and now I'm like, now he don't want me to go out and all of this, and I'm like, it's so much more to it. But so it's like at the time, she was valid with the things that she was saying, but it was just, girl,
it's just like, you have to make, if you want people to stop talking shit about a relationship, you got to prove, you have to show them why you're in it, So that's one thing. I'm not going to get into a big lesson, but that's just one thing. Cause when therapists might tell you, they're telling you that because you've made all they can go off is what you're telling them. Right. So you just understand that, guys.
And also, I'm sorry, also really quickly, they tend to also know the reasonings behind a lot of things, even when you don't. Once your therapist really gets to a certain point, they low-key know you better than you know you, because they know the reason why you are you and why you are doing this and why you are saying that. So when you're giving A, B, C, and D about your partner and A, B, C, and D about you, they're able to put that all together and, really come to some conclusions and, things like that. So it's very important to make sure you value what they are telling you, even if you might not want to do exactly. You might not want to just break up, but you might want to take some space or take some time and reevaluate that relationship.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I always love to, because it's always, when you bring therapy in a relationship, it can be dangerous if you use it the wrong way, and I've seen that.
And every therapist isn't meant for you.
Yeah, also every therapist, I had a really bad one. Because he didn't know me. He was trying to get me. You gotta
know when it is time to get out. I'm not necessarily saying like that's just a terrible therapist, but that's why they ask you, do you want a girl or a man? Do you want someone who believes in God or not? Do you want this person to be da-da-da? Because all of that matters. I can't go to no I can't go to no Trump hard fan therapist. That's not gonna work. You have your degree, you know what businesses mean, but our values, everything is just not going to be a quick match. So maybe you might get a therapist that tells you to do something or not do something. And that can also help you make the decision of whether or not that therapist is for you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's powerful. I mean, I'm glad we touched on that for sure. And we'll definitely be talking about that a lot in the future. But just to kind of wrap up, I wanted to touch on limiting beliefs. And I know they always usually let us give a little time. I don't want to take advantage of them. They've been so nice, but we can we should be able to get through a little bit of this, but when it comes to limiting beliefs, like I said, I want to talk about some of the ones that we've had and some of the ones first I'll touch on the most common ones that hold entrepreneurs back. And we touched on it earlier, is raising your prices. Because number one thing I hear is I can never charge that. Never. And that never word is so crazy in entrepreneurship, because it's like, if you're using the word never in entrepreneurship, you'll never make $1 million, because $1 million is a never thing. That sounds like something you could never do, because that's so much. So it's like, if you're using never for things so small, like if you're saying, because I'm like, why don't you have a website? Oh, I don't do websites, or why aren't you running ads? It's like, if you're gonna I hear that people just kind of shut down, and it's like, if you're doing that with little things, it's like, I'm not gonna bash anyone. It's just, you have to understand, like, we talked about this a lot at church, and I love one of our pastors' name is Chris, and he's so blunt, but you can't just
Chris Sauerbar. Shout out the Bible Guys
Man,
podcast.
shout out the Bible Guys podcast. Huge inspiration too. But you can't just do things that don't get the outcome you want, and they are proven to not get the outcome you want, and then, excuse my French, bitch about not getting that outcome. Don't talk about how you're not a successful entrepreneur making what you want to make. Like, don't bitch to your friends about it, and don't cause everybody else, because people like us, if you're a good person, if you actually love your friends and shit, you have to separate from people like that, because you get sad. I get sad hearing you week after week not getting where you want to go, especially if I think I can help you. So I have to separate from you. But don't be that poison to just keep being mad about where you are. It's different if you're comfortable. If you're like, I'm fine with the car I drive, I'm fine with the place I live at, I'm fine with my personal relationships, I'm fine with everything in my life, cool. But if you're upset with how everything is going and you're just gonna just keep doing the same shit, shut the hell up. Don't talk to me. I'm not your friend. I won't talk to you anymore. I can't do it because I'm an empath and I feel how shitty you feel inside, and I can't be around you until you at least start trying to help yourself not feel as shitty. Right. But that's a huge thing, like getting your priorities. And that's why I want to talk about priorities, because the limiting beliefs usually come from the idea that you can't do these things. And that comes from the fact that you're prioritizing other things. Because I hear people say, oh, I can't do that because I have to do this. And this is always something that won't make them any money at all. Like it's something that's so minuscule, and it's something that can definitely wait until they've at least started. Or
it can just be swapped or just
wait.
Yeah.
I mean, I even applaud you.
Reevaluate your schedule.
When you talked about your nails, I even applaud you, because it's like, it took me like earlier this year. I mean, y'all saw how I was looking. I mean, I'll put my S-Boy performance. I mean, my S-Boy interview kind of up here, right here. Like, I still look kind of crazy right now because I'm still in grind mode. Like, it's like, I saw this, Iman Shumber was talking about how to get to 1 million. He told a lot of niggas when they get that 20K, 40K in their account, they go say, I'm gonna treat myself. And because 20K and 40K is a lot, that's an accomplishment. So you should be treating yourself. But what he says, you get 20K and 40K, and that's when you start acting broke again. Because to get 20K to 40K, you have to have been acting broke at some point. And you probably stopped once you saw amount of money. If you act broke again, because that's what I'm about to do again. I just said that this is phase 2, like from now, because I just popped out for a little bit. I bought the car, got the place, took care of business, took care of myself a little bit. And we're going to be, of course, taking care of you. And now it's time to go into a period of not doing shit. Y'all won't see me for another few months unless it's on this podcast. Right. And that's one thing you really have to do. I'm
definitely going to drag you to Blake's.
What's Blake's?
Apple cider, cider mill.
Oh, yeah, the cider mill.
I'm definitely going to be dragging you to that and haunted house or
pay.
two.
You going to pay for me?
Anyways,
acting broke. Oh yeah, we gonna get Tyler Perry. But we gotta. It's acting broke time now.
I do want to touch on some limited beliefs from my own personal.
Yeah, so we'll get to yours. So I'll just for the rest of that. The most common ones are gonna be that you can't raise your prices. Which short answer, you can. Another one is just anything that you say you can't to, like that isn't like flying. And we can argue that now with China and shit that they're doing with the jetpacks and shit.
China.
But there is no reason that you should be saying I can't. There's no reason you should be saying I never if you're an entrepreneur. Like if that's the life never that you signed up for. Exist. Right. If you are working at 9 to 5, I'm not bashing you at all, but yours, I mean, it's okay. I mean, if you have something that you have decided to do that's paying you and you're on this track of retire from this place, okay, it's different when you say never. But entrepreneurs can't say never because you have to create shit out of thin air. You're a person, like if you're an entrepreneur, you are creating business. You make business. So it's like you can't be saying never because you're a creator at this point, especially if you need to create, if you want to become a content creator and all that shit. But limiting beliefs for you. So give me some of your limiting beliefs before you started Artistry by Nita. So saying November 2021.
Dang, I wish Bree was here because it was so funny because she was checking me. She was like, no, there's none of that.
Ooh.
But yeah, I was like, I didn't, it was just like, I don't know if I could do it. Like, I'm like, well, at that time it was specifically about doing nails.
Right.
And she was like, no. She was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy you some stuff and you just gonna try it and you gonna see it and da 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 da. But she was like, when I was telling her, I'm kind of thinking about doing custom Crocs. I'm thinking, I don't know. And she was like, I think you could do it. And she was like, you should. She was like, matter of fact, I'll be your first. You can have this pair. And she was like, come on back, come. And when next time you come, you pick up the Crocs and then you
I
can do
love friends like that.
So,
that's me.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know if I can, it wasn't like I can't. I knew I could make them. I knew I could do it. And,
I don't know.
But it was just like can I do the other things? Can I be disciplined? Can I be focused? Like, can I do these things? Mm-hmm. And that, I feel like that was some of my limited beliefs. Just not being able to see that picture, like at the end of the tunnel, not being able to see that destination of I'm doing pop-up shops. People are lining up at the door. People can't wait to see me. I couldn't see that. And because I couldn't see it, it didn't make sense. Because it didn't make sense, it was like, I don't know if I can do that. I'm not seeing it. It's not making sense. That belief in myself, it just wasn't there.
So the belief that you'll cross that finish line of whatever goal, insert goal here.
Yeah, gotcha. Like that was my limited belief. Wow, a whole thing to it. So
it's crazy to hear that, because mine is, it's always the opposite for me. It's just the fact that I can sustain, but I always see something working when I start. So I'm the visionary. I see it all the way through, but it's always like the shit in the middle that I'm always afraid of, because it's like I'm a hard worker, but I always like ADHD. Like now, learning more about ADHD and trying to master it, because I'm learning it's more of a superpower than like a deficiency. It's just about, I posted on my story, it's just you don't have control of it. Like I have the ability to lock in and just do some shit, but that shit might end up being painting a wall that no one asked to be painted. It's just I'm over here on some bullshit. So it's been hard, but that was a limiting belief. Is just my mental health and my ADHD. I'm like, I don't know if I can do something since my emotions are unregulated and my focus is unregulated, and everything is, my emotions depend on you and depend on the world. And it's like, it's so hard to, navigate. But that's what made me really want to start coaching people with ADHD, social anxiety, and depression, because for us, it's hard. I mean, being on the spectrum is just hard, in general, because it's like, everyone just thinks you're making excuses. Everyone thinks you're just trying not to work. Everyone thinks that you're just a lazy bum, but there are external forces and internal forces that are stopping you from like getting to what you're trying to do. Like, ADHD can make me just not make me, because I've been trying to, master it, but it can really derail you. It can really fuck you up, because it's
I've watched it happen live.
It makes you ignore tasks that take a lot of thinking, and it makes you like put those, like, when it comes to procrastination, I don't really procrastinate that much with everything. It's just I only procrastinate with things that I know are going to take a lot of focus, because they scare me, because I know it's going to take a long time, so that's been the hardest thing about, kind of scaling everything, is just, not having a team, and the leader is me, and I'm, this way. So that was one of my biggest ones with music. It's always been just worrying about what everyone cares about, if they're going to like it or not. And it's like, I've learned now to just target people who will. My audience isn't in the city, honestly, that much. I love Detroit, and it's a beautiful, a lot of great people, a lot of great connections. But if you're talking to the average Detroiter, they're not going to like my music, and that's totally fine. So it's about, dialing into the people who will. So those are mine before I, kind of started it. And I feel like, to go to the ones I have today, today is really like less limiting beliefs, and just more just I need to cling to my faith and just know everything is gonna, because now it's really execution time in the business. Like everything is happening the way it should, and it's just about executing every single thing, executing this pre-media rollout plan that we have, executing You First Solutions, their plan, and executing pre consulting, all these plans, integrating roles into coaching, all these things. My limiting beliefs is just everything will go the right way, and it's a little scary. Because it's like, if it doesn't, I don't, but there is no if it doesn't, right? But for you, what are some limiting beliefs you feel like you have today?
I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of shifting out of that. I don't really have any like limiting beliefs. I might believe that something might needs to get done a certain way in order to happen.
Right.
But I might not think like, oh, I'm not gonna do it because I ain't do it that way or anything, or I can't, because now I am focusing on my relationship with God and all these other things that actually make me happy, because they're actually making me happy. I don't have any disbelief in it, It makes me happy. This is what I'm meant to do. God put me on this path to deal with this, to go through this trial, to have this job, to not like this job. Like my last job, I feel like there was a reason why I wasn't making the money I wanted to make. That was God telling me this is not where you need to be.
Yeah.
You think you need to keep this
you
job so you can go here, so you can use this that they have. But no.
Yeah.
That's not where you need to be. Where you need to be is at Painting with a Twist, increasing your hours, working up the ladder, so you can use their resources and tools to go out on your own ventures and invest in yourself. Like at first I was thinking the thrift store thing wasn't going to happen for me, but now I really feel like that is going to happen for me. I have garbage bags of clothes ready for a thrift store. It's just about investing in it, saving up that money to go ahead, get that location, get those clothing racks, I mean,
or just charming an investor,
anything, bro. It's just like I don't think it's no longer not gonna happen in my head.
Yeah, I feel
right now it's happening. I might not know when, I might not have a month or a time and place of when these different things are gonna happen, but they're gonna happen.
I like that, and it's awesome to see you get there, because I mean I definitely remember in the beginning, but in the beginning you did, but when I first met you, because I mean we went to high school together, but when we like reconnected, it was it was just such a ball of ambition, and so it was less of that. I feel like life kind of made us have more limiting beliefs,
like that, and that goes into what you were saying about like priorities and things like that. Like my priorities were different at the time. I wasn't prioritizing my relationship at all. At that time, the relationship that I was in was not important to me. And I was getting out of the house, out of my parents' house. And I'm like, I need to be doing these things in order to be able to get out of my parents' house, but then things shifted, then COVID happened, and then priorities changed. So it's like now the priorities have shifted back a little bit. And now it's at the pace for a different path, so back then, I'm like, man, I need to be doing this, I'm about to get these licenses, man, I'm about to be so
man, and
that was a crazy time.
It's been a journey, I love that we definitely got to touch on some of that limiting beliefs. But I mean, when it comes to limiting beliefs, like just to kind of wrap up there, I mean, it's just the biggest thing is if you're an entrepreneur, or even not an entrepreneur, if you're someone who wants more out of life, I mean, you have to get rid of limiting beliefs, because that's all they do is limit you. Their baggage.
I can't get that promotion. I don't think I will. There's so many people applying to get that position. They probably won't pick me. Limiting belief.
And it's so many that people don't even think about. Like even when it comes to what you're about to wear today, and you're worried about, I don't think, it's like, who cares? Like, this is your fit. You got Naruto in the cut, bro. Go ahead, throw him on, bro. You fuck with him, bro. Put him on the shirt.
Who knows? If that's something you're very passionate about, you might run into somebody who is the lead of.
You're going to find your fucking husband,
convention,
bro.
Or something.
You're going to find your wife.
Anime or something. And then next thing you know, he might need a coordinator or something like that. And he like, how much do you know about Naruto? And you like, oh, I know, and Sasuke did this, and this person did that, and and now he's like hired. Boom. So it's like, can't be having them limited beliefs.
And that's even to take it even deeper, like it's going back to target audience. Like if you always stay true in who you are, you're gonna attract the people you're supposed to, because that's who you are, and it's gonna make sense. But if you are not being yourself, if you're letting limiting beliefs stop you from even living your full truth, whether that is your sexual orientation, how you want to dress, whatever it is for you, if you're letting limiting beliefs stop what you really want to do, everything that happens to you probably isn't supposed to happen to you, and you're probably not on your path, because that's not you.
But all you do is take, and take it some more, and